Welcome to the Sewing Studio. I'm Anna and this video is all about the Bernette Funlock b44 Overlocker. I'm going to talk you through all its features. I'll show you everything that comes in the box. I'll show you how to thread the machine, show you some of its capabilities, and then I'll talk a bit about warranty and support. So we've split all of those into chapters, so if there's a particular section you're interested in, feel free to head straight there. And don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we upload a new video. It could be another one like this on a different model of machine or one of our great sewing tutorials. So the Bernette b44 is a 2, 3 and 4 thread overlocker, and that gives you multiple stitch options, 15 in total with this one. Now it's very easy to thread, everything is colour coded for you. So you can see you've got the different colours on your tension discs here, and then there's diagrams and colours down here to show you which way to go. Now these tension discs are what they call lay-in tension discs, and that makes it much easier if you want to change your colours, because you can pop your new spools on, tie a little knot in each one and then pull them through if you wish to. The lower looper as well has a little gadget to help you thread the back of that, making it much easier than a lot of other overlockers, and I will show you that when we get to the sewing section. Now you can adjust the length of those stitches, that's with this dial on the side here, and you can get, sorry, this one, that's the hand wheel to put the needles up and down, this one here, and you can achieve anything from 1mm up to 3mm. Now you can adjust the width as well. Obviously if you're not using the blade, it's up to you what width that you want, but if you are using the blade you can adjust the cutting width using this dial here, and then the blade is going outwards. You can also not use the blade if you don't want to. It can be retracted just with this piece down here, you just pull it down. It's also very easy to switch between when you need a chain, so an overlocker has a chain finger up here which your loops are forming over. For things like a rolled hem, you don't need that, and some machines have a piece that you have to take out that can easily get lost. On this one, it's just a simple switch to retract that when you want to switch over and not use that piece. So the presser foot has adjustable pressure on there, so if you're sewing something quite fine that can get chewed up in the teeth, you can slacken that pressure off and help to feed it more consistently to get nice results. Now because it's an overlocker, it has 2 sets of feed teeth and what's called differential feed, which can be adjusted here, and that gives you the ability to sew a wide variety of different fabrics. Along with the powerful motor that's in this machine, that's right from quite thick fabrics down to your finer ones as well. Now I will explain more about the differential feed when we get into the sewing section. Now in terms of power, the machine can sew quite fast. It will sew up to 1300 stitches per minute, so you really can get your projects finished in no time at all. There's a nice bright LED light here so you can see what you're doing, and the machine weighs just over 7 kilos. It's got a nice handle here to carry it, so it is nice and transportable should you need to do that. Now in terms of what comes in the box, the machine will arrive with this piece off, and you'll have some threads already threaded in there and knotted so that you can see where the thread paths go. This then just very simply slots on. You've got your foot control and power lead here that I've already got plugged in. And on the front here, there's some storage for all the things that you kind of need daily. So you've got some tweezers, some spare needles, your upper looper cover, and then a tool to change out the needles. The standard foot will already be on the machine. There's a range of accessories, and these all fit nice and neatly in this storage box. There's a soft dust cover, as well as an instruction manual. And then lastly, you've got what's called a trap bin or a cut-off bin. So this just simply sits on the front there, and as you're trimming your fabric, the ends fall into there, so it keeps everything neat and tidy when you're sewing. So let's head into the sewing section. So to thread the machine, we're going to go from right to left, starting with the lower looper. So I'm going to grab my red thread so that you can see, and go in the thread guide at the top. And then there's little guides in the back there, and they can be a little bit tricky, but you just want to put the thread, in and around, and then give it a good tug, and then it's in under there. And the reason it's like that is so it doesn't slip out when you're actually sewing. So I'm going to pull that down a minute, and then you're going under this pre-tensioner here, and down through your tension discs. And you want to make sure that your presser foot is in the up position so that these discs are open for the thread to sit in there. And then you're coming down into the guide at the bottom there. And as I say, there is a diagram here if you ever need it. So I'm going to grab my tweezers, and then I'm following all the red dots down in here through these guides. So I'm going to go under those two, and then in under that one, she says, like so. Just take it out from around there. And then through the eye of the lower looper, just going to turn it so it's a bit more visible. There we go. And out through the back. And then to thread the back of the lower looper, just bring it out as far as it will come again. I'm just going to put that under the upper looper. You want to lay the thread just in, there's like a triangle piece there, so get it nice and tight and lay it in the little groove that's in there. Sorry, that's quite hard for you to see, but there's a little groove in there. And then with your finger, you just want to flip that backwards and then come forwards, and then it's threaded in the back of the looper where we need it to be. So that's that one done. So now we're going to move on to the upper looper. So I've already gone through this piece in the top here. So again, I'm coming down in the guide here, and then there's two blue dots there. So I'm going to go through those, in under and up. Oh, I did it perfectly just now. Hang on. There we go. No, I've got that caught in around. I'll do that again. There we go. I'm trying to keep my hands out the way for you to see, which gives me an awkward angle, but there we go. So I'm in there, and then there's a little guide in the top there. I'm just going to put it into. In that one there, and then through the eye of the upper looper. Just grab the end there, pop that in, and out through the back. So that's the two loopers done. I'm just going to put the threads under the foot. And then when it comes to the needles, again, I've already done this piece at the top. I'm going to come down and around, and it's probably hard for you to see, but there's three little guides on there. So with this one, you just want to go in the one at the very back, over and down, in the guide to the right, because we're doing the right needle, and then in the one above the needle, right over to the right as far as you can get. You might need to hold on to that and just pop it over. There we go. And then through the eye of the right needle. There it goes. Out to the back and under the back of the foot. And then lastly, the left needle, we're going to follow the same path, except you're going to go in the centre guide of this one, up and over, and then in the left guide here, because we're doing the left needle, just needs to pop in there, and then in behind the first piece on the guide just above the needle, and then through the left needle eye, like so. Pull that out through the back, and again under the foot. Okay, let's pop my tweezers away and close that up. So before I put my foot on the foot pedal, I'm going to drop the presser foot, and I'm going to turn the hand wheel and make sure that I've threaded everything correctly. So what you're feeling for is that everything is moving freely. Now, if you've never used an overlocker before, it's not as free as what it is on a sewing machine. So it is a little bit stiffer because there's so many elements. But as long as nothing is getting caught, that feels okay. So I'm just going to pop my foot on the foot pedal. And I can see that that's all running smoothly and my loops are looping as expected. I'm going to grab some cotton, so I've got two pieces here, and to start with I'm going to put all my tensions on number 4, and we'll see how it performs on this type of fabric. So I'm just going to pop the presser foot up a little way, get that in under there, and make a start. And that there is at the full top speed of, what did I say? 1300 stitches per minute, that's it. I'd forgotten then. So I'm just going to cut that off. So you can see you've got your left needle and your right needle is sewing your seam. And then you've got the upper looper forming the loop on the top of the fabric and the lower looper forming the loop on the bottom of the fabric. And what you're aiming for is for the two loops to interlock over the very edge of the fabric, which it is doing, but it is a little bit baggy. You can just see there's a gap between the edge of the fabric and the loops there. So I'm going to increase the tension on the two loopers to reduce that gap and then sew another test. So just pop that under. Cut those off. And you can see how now that is much tighter to the edge of the fabric. So that's exactly what we want, as I say, with the loops interlocking over the edge of the fabric. So we would now carry on with our project using this fabric. When it comes to changing to a different type of fabric though, you want to do the same again and check your tensions and everything. So cotton is quite a stable fabric, so I would imagine it's not going to be too different with this fabric, which is denim. Now this is a 10-ounce denim that we keep, and I've got 2 layers. But because it's thicker than the cotton, I am going to increase the stitch length slightly. So we're already on 2.5, so I'm just going to go up to 3. Pop this in underneath. Snip those off. And as you can see, that's done quite a nice job there. That's the underneath. And then your loops again are locking on the very edge of the fabric. So let's check its capabilities. So I'm going to double this over now and see how it copes with the thickness of 4 layers of this denim. So again, I'm going to lift that up. You can hear it's working harder. That's to be expected because it's a lot denser. So it's gone through that with no problem at all. There's nothing skipped at all. That's on the top and that's underneath. And again, your stitches are interlocking on the very edge of the fabric. So that's 4 layers of denim there, which it's gone through with no problem at all. So when it comes to something that's thicker and with some stretch as well, I've got a piece of fleece here that is quite thick and also it's really very stretchy. So I'm going to leave everything as it is for a minute and we'll see how it performs. So it's done a nice stitch on the edge of the fabric there. Again, we're locking on the very edge, but can you see how it's rippled with the stretch there? So this is where the differential feed comes in. So as I mentioned, there's 2 sets of teeth. Ordinarily, for the sewing we've been done, both sets of teeth are travelling at the same rate, moving at the same rate. With the differential feed, you can either increase the speed on the front teeth to, in effect, achieve a gather, or you can decrease the speed on there for things that tend to pucker. So when you're sewing with quite fine fabrics and things like that. So what we want to do to counteract the stretching on this one and the rippling is to increase the speed on the front teeth, in effect to achieve a gather, but as I say, what it's actually doing is counteracting the stretch of the fabric. So it's on 1 at the moment, so I'm just going to go up to 1.5 and we'll see what difference that makes. I'll just drop my presser foot down. And as you can see, that's now sitting nice and flat. So increasing the speed of the front set of teeth with the differential feed achieves a gather that counteracts the rippling. Also, you can achieve a gather with that as well. So let's look at something a bit bulkier. So I'm going to double this over now. And I don't want to cut this time, so I'm going to retract the knife. Forgot where it was then. And that's this piece here. So you just pull it out and roll it down and then it slots in there. So it's now no longer going to cut. And I'm just going to use the edge of the plate as my guide of where I want to sew. So I can pop that quite a way in now because the blade is not there, and make a start. I thought it might have struggled to get over that initial bit, but actually it's done quite a nice job. And there we go, it's coped with that thickness, no problem at all. Again, your loops are interlocking on the very edge of the fabric and everything's nice and neat. So this machine comes with 2-year warranty, and in the box you'll find this certificate of guarantee that explains the warranty to you and how to register your machine with Bernette. And don't forget that we're here at the sewing studio as well for any help or support that you might need with your new machine. So I hope I've managed to demonstrate to you just how easy the Bernette Funlock b44 is to use and its capabilities to help you decide whether it's the right machine for you. If you're local to us, why not come in and try the machine for yourself? But if you've already decided it's your new machine, then head over to our website and grab yours now. Delivery is fast and it's free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.